You need to, especially in the fitness industry now, you need to separate yourself away from what everybody else is doing, because what everybody else is doing isn't working.
Do you think everyone could be on camera?
No.
How if someone's listening to this, they know if they should be on camera or not?
If they keep having something that continuously comes up in their mind, which is telling them to continuously do it over and over and over again, and if they've tried it and they feel uncomfortable doing it, but then and then they put it away, sweep it under the carpet, and then it keeps coming back and it keeps coming back. What you have to understand is nobody can, like, you can procrastinate over it for years and years and years. Everybody wants to be known as like the go-to person, or the person who's great and has the great piece of content, but very few people have that natural ability. It's the same as not everyone can step on an Olympia stage and be a bodybuilding champion. Like, some people are naturally gifted in their ability to be able to communicate and talk on camera, whereas others, it will take a lot more time, a lot more effort, and a lot more research to be able to actually create some form of character that is appealing for other people to watch. And if you're creating content just for the sake of creating content and not taking these kind of things into account, then I don't think you're ever gonna make it. You need to continuously rewatch back your stuff and critique it, and how can you get better at it. And a great example of that is, we use teleprompters for some of the long form content and some of the short form content that we create. In the first initial stages of using teleprompters, like, you were very like robotic and jagged, and everybody is. But if you look at, obviously people won't be able to notice the difference now, but because they don't see behind the scenes. But if you look back at some of the old teleprompter content that we were creating in comparison to what it is now, it's like night and day. And I think that's one thing that separates someone like yourself, or someone with the, drive to want to become continuously better at whatever it is that they're doing. Then it's the continuous habit of doing the thing and then looking back at the data, how can I make this better, and then continuing moving forward.
It's the pursuit of excellence.
100%.
And I can give a good example. I think you kind of alluded to there. People kind of create an alter ego of who they are. And an excellent example of this would be Andrew Tate.
Yes.
I was at an event on Sunday with a couple of guys who know him, and they said he's like the nicest guy in the world.
Yep.
Like, completely not what you expect.
Yep.
And I think that's also where I said earlier about like the magnetic market kind of being polarizing. You kind of have to stand out and like plant a flag in the ground of like what you're for and what you're against. And then people will either gather around you or kind of pull away from you. Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that people you have to adopt that very, very early. You have to have an understanding that who you are in a face-to-face conversation with your friends and your family is completely different to the version of you who you should be portraying yourself as online. Because with all due respect, like, this is a long form piece of content. It's a conversation between me and you. So that the likelihood of someone sitting down to watch this and engage in this is higher than what short form content is. But if we're trying to have a conversation like this and put it on short form content, like, it would never work. You have to have something that stands you out above everybody else. And if you're not paying attention to your personality or the charisma or the energy that you're bringing in regards to short form content, then you're going to fall flat on your face, because you're going to come up against the likes of Alex Hormozy or Layla Hormozy or Cody Sanchez, or say, for example, I don't know who a good example of that would be in the fitness space, but there's people out there that have the personality, have the charisma, and they're portraying that.
Would be a good example.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, amazing example. Like, someone like Greg Doucette is the epitome of Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. But what you can't take away from him is his success on social media. Like, he's a dominant figure, and the reason for that is, and if you don't actually know, like, go and look at Greg Doucette's stuff. All of his, like, speaking to camera stuff is all curated. The version of him who's in front of the camera, he's 100% like made that character up in his head, and it's worked for him. And I'm not saying be a different person. I'm not saying, be a fake version of who you are, but take your personality, take your likes, and just expand it by 5 or 10% minimum for when you're hitting record on the camera, and you'll naturally see more progress.
Now, if you enjoyed this clip and you're a coach, creator, or a business owner, and you want help in terms of how to scale your business using ads, AI, content, marketing, a lot of things we talk about on the show, then hit the link at the top line of our description in the YouTube video. You can book on a call with us and walk through the whole process, audit your business, and show you where there's huge opportunities for you to scale.